All right, so in our brainstorming session, I'll just quickly take you guys through what we had in our brainstorming session. The idea was to just get an overview of what product reviews ranking is, and it being a worthwhile machine learning project to pursue, and their expected outcomes. So if we look at reviews and recommender systems, the way they operate, okay, those are two different machine learning problems, but now the focus on this project is in particularly reviews. So just to explain the objective, let me just quickly go through our website, and I've picked Jumia. You could pick, what is the most common discussed? I don't know if it's fragrance. I just want to see where we have some reviews. Yeah, there's one review there. I don't know if we can get a lot of reviews of a product. Who shops in Jumia often? I'm not so sure if we will be able to get reviews. Let me see. Description. Okay, let's start with Amazon. I had opened Amazon. So for Amazon, you can see the way they're doing their reviews. Let me maximize that. So you can see there is a button here for helpful, and then the way they are ranking. These are top reviews. They are into two: top reviews and most recent. So most likely the top review is based on the number of clicks here. So if someone found it helpful, it becomes 1,843 at the top, and then followed by 797, and then 577. So even if I did not review and I clicked helpful and gave a comment, it would be at the top. Yeah, even if I gave a comment that is not so helpful, and then I click helpful. For example, this one, it distracts me from the fact that I have no friends. If I click helpful, it's at the top. But this statement here does not make any substantive info about the product being reviewed. So it's not so helpful. If, for instance, if the reviewer mentions something about say the battery life, or what are we talking about here first? Yeah, let me say if it is one of these game pads, yeah, PlayStation, yeah. So if someone spoke about maybe the battery life and maybe the price and how easy it is to replace or to insert a CD, maybe to connect to the television, playing in a team. So that would be much helpful than this. It's not, the review here is not for the product, but something I would call an opinion. So I'm trying to look at Jumia reviews, but I can't see where one we can get a lot of reviews from this. Just let me see. Key features, customer feedback. Most of the products in Jumia has no reviews. Let me see if I can get this by searching. Let me pick one. They normally are the bottom, the reviews. This also doesn't have feedback. But now let's come to the Play Store. Something about Play Store is when you look at this thumbs up, we have 308 thumbs up at the top, but we have 485 coming second. Yeah, and this is the difference of 2 days. Yeah, so what Play Store does, it also looks at the context. It looks at the text, the verbatims. together with the thumbs up to make a decision on what review comes on top. That is the most helpful way of adding reviews to either websites or even products and services. Yeah, and that is going to form the basis of our learning. So we are not going to just sort reviews by either the thumbs up, or we are going to try and look at is the information being given by a customer or by the person who's reviewing significant? Is it important? Is it even helpful? Because as a customer, if you were to go through all these reviews, the first disadvantage is you wouldn't want to go through all reviews. Say one product has like 200 reviews. Yeah, it's upon the person listing the products to find a way of picking the most relevant review and displaying this to other customers so that you drive transparency. So if most customers say it is not good, and there is another customer who says it is good and it's relevant, then it is displayed. You add those filters so that when a customer says, I just want to see from most relevant reviews to the least relevant, or from the worst reviews to the good reviews, then you're able to, not by the number of thumbs up or thumbs down given to a product, but including the verbatims of that the customer or the person reviewing the product gives. So that is what this project is going to be about. And if I just go to the slide, I was showing you guys the screen. Were you guys seeing this the website, or you were seeing the PowerPoint slide?
We were seeing the PowerPoint slide.
We've been seeing the PPT.
And you've been quiet. Okay. Are we in this class or?
Sorry?
Yeah.
Hello, Alvin.
Yes, yes.
Yes.
Are we following?
Yes, yes, you're following.
Yeah.
So I've been explaining a lot of stuff on Play Store, and you guys have not been seeing it. So I'm wondering if you are getting the concept.
No, me opened it on my machine.
Sorry?
I opened the sites you were explaining.
Oh, you opened them on your machine. Okay. And
yeah.
guys, how about you? Hello.
Ayub, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yeah, I'm following as well.
No, I was wondering. I wasn't showing the browsers.
Yeah.
I was showing the PowerPoint slide, but I was talking about some links. Were you able to follow?
Yeah, on Amazon and Jumia. Okay, I was following when you were on Jumia.
Oh, you opened Jumia. Okay,
Yeah.
how about now? Can you see?
Yeah, now I can see.
Okay, perfect. So let me just quickly repeat. So when you look at some of these sites, they normally have review section where customers give their review. But when you look at, for instance, Amazon, I had picked on this one. So there are some reviews that they enable someone to add a comment and indicate whether it is helpful or not helpful. So providing a button, say helpful, not helpful, or a thumbs up or thumbs down. Yeah?
Yeah.
So like this one, if a customer says it distracts me from the fact that I have no friends, this review, look at it, it is at the top. Yeah, it's at the top.
Yeah.
But is it helpful if someone was to buy this gadget, PS4? If someone wanted to buy a PS4, would this review be helpful to that person? I tend to think that it might not be helpful, though the review it differs from one customer to another. Because if you're struggling to buy PS4 and PS whatever, I don't know how many gaming consoles are there, or Nintendo, or even two versions of PS4 and PS3. And you wanted info about is it worthwhile going to PS4? And you say it distracts me from the fact that I have no friends. So even PS3, you can play with it and keeps you busy, but it won't be helpful on to make the decision whether or not to go to PS4. But according to this review, it is at the top. Yeah. So when you're doing reviews, it's always important to add some relevance to customers. So what are these content that actually brings out the relevance, even besides having a thumbs up or a thumbs down? So that is one example, and I know there are quite many, especially websites around this region. Most websites, they are based on templates, and these templates, unless you make an explicit request for them to plug in with ML, then it is up to you to build that capability. Yeah, so it has a limit. Now, when you come to Jumia, I've been looking for reviews. Jumia doesn't even have, most of the products I've picked. Unfortunately, I was not able to get one that customers have reviewed. So I'm here to pick one that customers have reviewed to see how the reviews are listed in Jumia. So most of this is just generic ratings. Again, rating, someone could just rate it highly because they like the color. But you know, if someone doesn't say that I'm rating this because the color is good or it's matching, some information is missing out. So the best review is always the one that you combine the thumbs up, for instance, together with thumbs up together with the verbatim from the customer. So Jumia, let's see if this product will have verbatims from the customer. No, no, nothing. Oh, here we have one. It's a star, 3-star, and it was reviewed. Okay, this is detailed. Okay, so now this kind of intention, when you come, before you go to the slide, when you come to Play Store, check this out. This has a 308, yeah, and this one has 495, followed by 1,145 previously, yeah. So there is one that has been put 1,145, but look at where it is rated. It's rated number, it's coming through number 3. So assuming if this was sorted by relevance, yeah, let's see. It's actually August 12th, August 13th. Today is August 17th, August 9th, August 10th, August 1st, August 1st, August 7th. So I'm assuming that for Play Store, it is ordered by date. Yeah, it would be interesting if you could order by relevance. Yeah. So how do you determine relevance? Because even this one is sorted by relevance. So when it's sorted by date. So adding relevance to reviews is a very, very interesting way of enhancing the product reviews. Because if you wanted to download this app, for instance, what are those things that would make you actually do it? So if the disadvantage of this kind of rating where you order by date is if 3 people or even 5 people, the latest 5 people spoke negative about this app, then your perception, you cannot go beyond 5 in reading reviews. Normally the first 2 or 3 helps you make the decision on whether or not to download the app. But you know, with apps, it's something weird I've noticed, that we have some apps that have negative comments, and that one only triggers you to even want to download and check out how stupid an app is. So after downloading it, you go and uninstall it. So within that context, then it will work for you. But in a context where customers actually are out to buy something, anything negative where they're going to spend money to buy a product, then they wouldn't go ahead, especially if an app is being sold. So if the reason why ordering by date does not make sense. It's if 3 people made negative comments about your app or your product, then the customer would not go for it. But if you allowed your customers to order by relevance, so assuming you have a website, or assuming you're a machine learning engineer, you're building a review like what you're doing right now, and then enable that review to be reachable via an API, so that existing websites or existing platforms that would want to use your feature, you sort of like plug into them such that when the customer clicks on the save button or post the review, it goes to the model, and then the prediction is made. And when it's being listed, it's listed according to the prediction results. So it gives value to your customers. So that is going to be an objective. And you can see most websites do not have that feature. It would be interesting to learn how to do it and wrap it in a way that it can be given to existing website with a lot of ease. Yeah. So if you have a comment here, for instance, a comment. So I'm typing a comment, sign in. I have to sign in. So I'm assuming there'll be a comment where I type. When I click on submit, it goes to the endpoint for the machine learning platform, makes a prediction, and then it's being listed. It's according to relevance, so that as a customer, when I want to filter, I can choose, let me view these reviews by relevance, by date. Relevance, it could be least relevant, highly relevant, so that I can immediately go to the people speaking negative about it, and I can also immediately go to the people speaking positive about it. I read the first two, and it gives you some advantage. So that is the objective of this project. And if I go to the slide, please confirm if you can see the slide right now.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So in the previous class, we went through exactly what I've just briefed you, and we brainstormed where everyone made a proposal on the kind of service or product that we were to review. And the idea was to review home internet, because people are using home internet a lot right now because of the pandemic. So is it possible for customers to have a platform where they can actually just go and check internet by service providers? Yeah, internet by service providers. So you could see the most the most relevant based on the internet product that you want to purchase or you acquire. And we chose Twitter. So the objective was to mine data from Twitter for the relevant service providers and check conversation along those lines. And then based on those conversations, we get those reviews and give them relevance. And then if someone was to ask, say, for example, what are some of the, which is the best internet service provider, for instance? And then the answer would be given, and a snapshot of the reviews based on people's reviews is provided. So that is the objective of this project. And in terms of the technical classes, we were to do EDA over textual data. And then we do text processing, where we would explore language detection, a way of detecting gibberish, checking of profanity, like now insults, and then spell corrections. You realize most of these things are NLP related. So if you're here and you're also in NLP, you're learning double. So some of these things we've covered, or some of them we've not covered them. In NLP class, it's largely classification problem. And in this one, it's largely a review, but we'll have to do a couple of NLP stuff. Yeah. So we will look at feature engineering as well. Yeah. Where we are extracting relevance from review data, we check out sentiment analysis. We look at text content richness, extracting features with target class, how to do the ranking, pairwise ranking, and then converting that ranking into a classification problem. And then we'll play around with random forests, check out the evaluation metrics, and then package it as a model. So to illustrate, at the end of the class, to illustrate, the plan was, to illustrate what we've done, the plan was, based on the data that we pick and hopefully expose the model through a REST API, we'll provide an interface where guys could actually see in Relevance. So this one gives us a basis for two very important things, and it could form an advanced class. The first one is streaming that kind of information in real time using, of course, big data techniques like Spark, and streaming them and then displaying them in terms of relevance. So this could be something like a dashboard where anyone who wants internet service provider could just go and check out what is the conversation in terms of relevance with internet. This would be very, very valuable. But now that one is in advanced. But this forms the base of which that can be achieved. And then another thing is for why this is the base. It actually can act as a base of sort of like a chatbot where you engage customers, just ask questions, and then the response is given with example of reviews from Twitter. So it has two possible and very interesting opportunities in terms of learning and making sure you give value to whatever it is you do. I'm not so sure if there is something like this outside there, but if there is, then we could actually learn from it as we figure out how to solve this problem. So that was just by and large what we covered on the first day. Yeah. And then the second day we were to scrap data. The assignment was to scrap data from Twitter for ISPs, but I think that hasn't been done. Actually, not I think. It hasn't been done. So what I did was I picked some data from Kaggle and to illustrate this concept so that because you're going to lag behind. So I picked the data for us guys to learn these concepts, and then you guys are free to, because we have notebook with scrapping tools and stuff that can work. You guys can go ahead and scrap data and try and build up that kind of solution, because I think that kind of solution is very, very interesting, and it would really give you a good edge in actually articulating what you've done. And if you look at the eventual dashboard that you can display, it will actually give you a very, very good added advantage. So I still encourage you to get that notebook that has how to scrap. Go to Twitter, scrap the data, and be able to follow through this tutorial and do the ranking.
Where is that notebook that shows how to scrap?
It's in my GitHub, and we shared it with NLP. Are you in NLP class?
No, I'm not in NLP.
All right. So I'll share the notebook in the group that we are in for product reviews together with this video, and also the notebook, because I have a notebook that I want us to walk through. We won't go through all of it because of time, but at least it has started.
Okay.
All right. Perfect. So that is where we are at, and that is what you're going to do. So if I open the notebook, I'll just take you guys through. Okay, so I changed it a bit because of the available data. The class needed to go on. So I went to Kaggle and got data. And as I've explained previously in this video, the objective is to help extract relevance from the conversation that is normally going on. It's a small shift from the normal reviews, which is pegged on either thumbs up or date. Okay. So this is just a background. Significance of reviewing products and reviewing services. Your credibility or lack of is displayed, but now we normally anchor ourselves on credibility. And whichever way, even if either way, by the there's nothing like lack of credibility. If people talk about your product, then it's actually good for you, because if they say negative things, it's an opportunity for growth. If they say positive things, then you're likely to win more customers. The second one is making a decision to buy a product. I've explained this using Play Store and Amazon and Jumia. Using PS4. So if you're to buy PS4 and PS3, what is that review that is going to make you make that purchase? If you sort it by date, you might not have that power to make that call. So this, depending on how it's designed, it boosts sales for products. Now the problem is two things. The amount of review of the amount of data being reviewed is normally a lot, and you want to make a customer call to actions shorter. So you want, when a customer comes to your website, they quickly make that decision to make a call, to make that purchase, and key in that credit card number or pay via M-Pesa, and then they move on. One thing that is going to help them make that decision is, what are other customers saying about this? So unlike recommender systems where what other customers bought, then you're helping your customer make a decision by saying, these customers said this, and you can actually review and actually see the least reviewed messages as well as the highly reviewed relevant according to relevance. You do not only filter by date, but also by relevance. Now, the proposed solution is what I've said. We are looking at relevance. Now, I need to change this notebook, but I want you guys, now that the two of you, if we could either do individual projects, or we could team up and come up with one project for home internet where you download and you follow through, and because it's a lot of work and we are running out of time. We only have, I would say we only have 1 month. Up 17th of next month we should be done. So I've been absent, so we only have I'm on leave this week and next week. So this week and the next week we need to have covered so much and have a proof of concept model exposed via a REST API. So once we have that, then at least the rest we can do it in September. So by the plan is to have by end of this month, the plan is to have a model exposed via a REST API endpoint with a very, very basic test. You submit text to it and it gives you a response in terms of relevance, and probably a list of the top 5 relevance, something like that. We will think a lot about it along the way. Okay. So the approach when I took about the approach I've taken when I downloaded the Kaggle dataset is the Kaggle dataset. You guys, the link I think I've shared. I think I need to share it again. Let me paste this on Nini. You can be downloading it. Let me paste it in chat. You guys can copy. You guys can, sorry. You guys can, chat. There, you can download that. And so when you open that data set, you'll realize that it has five types of reviews. Ranking. 1, 2, 3, with 5 being the most ranked, like now helpful, and 1 being the least helpful. Okay, that is my interpretation. So what I did is I considered 5 to automatically be most helpful, and then I picked on 4, 3, 2, 1 to be least helpful. I created 2 classes. Yeah. After creating these 2 classes, helpful and not helpful, this is going to be now the workflow. Labeling, which I've done, and then we start extracting features, learn about pairwise ranking, and then doing the classification, and then rank based on relevance. We're all going to do that. Okay. So Workbench, the import files. This is where we import the files. Nothing new out of there. This is, I tried something, it didn't work, so I'll pick it up. It's still work in progress, so I'll just remove that. And then this one is just to enable me, this one is to view the plots, matplotlib in Jupyter, a certain figure size. And then this one is to enable me see all the rows that I want to. And this is the column width for the data frame. This line here, line number 3, is to import the data into Pandas data frame. This one is just to define the shape of the data. So we're looking at around 28,332 rows with 24 columns. This is huge, and I found it not necessary because of what you're trying to achieve is very, very specific. So I narrowed down to what I needed, and this is what I needed: the name, the rating, and the text. So like I said, the idea of this is to rate. This is the product name. So we have basics AAA performance alkaline batteries, and we have quite a number of them. So if you look at the rating, we have 5 classes of rating, and I combine class 4, 1, 2, 3, and 4 to 1, so that this one, if there was any rating that is below 5, then that one is less relevant. If the rating is 5, then it is highly relevant. Some of these ratings are the ones that would help a customer make a decision to buy or not. Okay, so this is equivalent to now the labeling aspect, but an alternative would be for you to manually check out, think like a customer and make that decision. This comment would make me buy this. This comment would make me buy this. This comment would not make me buy this. So another process would be collect all those comments and reviews and then label them manually through a QA process. Yeah. But because we don't have the comfort of that, we can actually come up with a proof of concept on how best to implement this. Yeah. Okay. Okay. All right. Up to there, I believe we are good. So what I wanted to view was for every product, how was the rating for every product? How many people rated a product 1? How many people rated it a 2, 3, 4? Yeah, that was the objective here. And then the next one is just seeing what the group by results were. And then here I'm sorting them. I'm sorting the products themselves. So you can see Amazon AAA performance alkaline batteries rating 5 had 6,234 people, 6,234 messages. Yeah. So that is what is happening in this cell number 10. We had others with ranking 4, 62, ranking 3, 42. So we are easily going to know which text is going to help someone make the purchase. Yeah. And what at the end of the day, we could eventually say that this kind of review is relevant, and we need to be able to rank it and display it, list it in order of relevance, and display this to the customer. Okay, so now based on this, I wanted to filter out those that have reviews that are greater than 100, because the data is pretty big. So if you had a product that had reviews that are greater than 100, then that one fitted in the data set. And this is it. Because you see, this one has only one review. It is not so important. Some of these 2 reviews. So I focused on those that have 100 reviews and above. Yeah. And then checked out the value counts for each of the ratings. And then from the product list, I put all these product lists into a list, because now these are the ones that I'm interested in. These are the products I'm interested in. Yeah, the products that I'm interested in. Okay, so I check them out from this column here is to display to only select the products I'm interested in from the main reviews data frame by passing in the list of products that I'm interested in. And this is my list, selected reviews. Yeah. So finally, I have the product name, the rating, and the text. Now the next thing would be, if I do the shape right now, it is 27,000. That's the shape. And then if I do the value count, you get to see that now it is 15,000. It has shifted from 28,000 to 27,000. So from 27,000, the 5 classes, the 5 classes are, we have 5 has 19,000. So we want to merge the other classes and have only 2 classes. So that is what is happening on cell 17. Okay. And then cell 18, we just want to confirm the classes. We have class 1 and class 0. Class 0 is data that we consider less relevant, and class 1 is data that we consider relevant, that would make someone make a purchase. All right, so we want to start doing some analysis of these products. And the first thing to do is to create something called a crosstab, where we want to see for each of those products, how is the class distributed for each of those products. So we can do that by building a crosstab. And the crosstab you're looking at right now is for this product. We had 54 reviews that were considered less relevant, and 179 reviews that were considered very relevant. And that is the total. Yeah, that's the beauty of a crosstab. Yeah. Okay, so that is what you display. In total, we have 27,227. And then we create a data frame, because I want to now plot the crosstab. Now that is where we plot it. And you can see for each of these products, these are the products in the x-axis. You can see the reviews. You can see the reviews. The one in orange is now the useful, and then the one in blue, not useful. So, okay, it will be useful because it gives you negative connotation. But remember that the decision is which review is most likely to make you, we want to order based on relevance. So we're not like hiding the negative reviews or the less review, but we just want to be able to order by the relevance. So someone can order by moving from less relevant to high relevant, or low relevant to, high relevant to low relevant. So this one gives someone the ability to skim through top 5 highly relevant messages, and then the top 5 less relevant messages, and ultimately making the decision. Unlike when you have to order by the dates, if you only order by the date, you'll have to read all the messages to be able to make that decision. So that is what is happening here, and viewing it. Yeah, so we've visualized our crosstab, and then the next thing we are going to do is check on average the length. We want to look at the distribution of the length of the reviews. Distribution of the length of the reviews. So if you look at selected reviews, we are adding the review length. Yeah. So this review length for each of the product that we are interested in. Okay. So here, what you're doing, because we have several different review lengths, so we want to create like a bucket list, because what we want to build is we want to build a histogram. We want to build a histogram of this review length. So what we want to do is we are going to create a bucket list. So the bucket is, for each bucket, we want to have 5 reviews. And then we want to determine each of those buckets. We are looking at messages that are either between a certain length. So for instance, between 0 to 5, and then from 5 to 10, 10 to 15, 15 to 20, like that. So the buckets between 5, this is the starting point, and this is the ending point. The ending point of 50 gives you 9 buckets of 5 data sets each. 5 size 5. It gives you 9 buckets of size 5. So these are the buckets. So what this means is the reviews that are between 0 to 5, length of 0 to 5 is 3,360. And this one, reviews that have length 45 to 50. So few guys are wordy, but 828 is not few, it is high. It's only few in relation to 3,360. So this is very, very good info, that you have 828 guys typing reviews of length, say 45 to 50. Okay, so we want to plot a histogram for those review sizes. Yeah, and this is the histogram. So from this histogram, what you can pick is let me reduce the size of this. It will take time to reduce. From this histogram, you can see it has hanged. It has hanged. Okay, there we go. All right. So you can see that majority of the reviews are between, I think, 15 to 20. I need to scroll down. The machine has hung. Let's just man. Let's see. You guys can see the screen. In case there is, in case I'm moving a bit fast, please let me know. Or if you have a question, just ask. There we go. Yeah, of length 15. So length greater than or equals to 10, but less than 15. So that is here. Yeah. So most reviews are 15. Yeah. But as the words go up as expected, the number goes down. Yeah. So that is what we've covered so far today. Based on this, I'm still working on this slide. I'm still working on this notebook. But I was looking at covering this and this, but time could not allow. So I'll try and condense it in such a manner that the next class, we have most of this thing done. So what I'll do is I'm going to, the moment I complete a section, I'll be uploading the notebook into GitHub for you guys to access and go through, so that in the next class, we go through the classifier end to end and make predictions. So between now and the next class, I need to have completed this notebook, and immediately I complete the notebook, I'm going to share it on GitHub for you guys to access. And then what I would request is during the week, instead of using the Amazon dataset, if you have the NLP, and I think Mombali, who's joined us, yeah, Mombali is also aware about the NLP code that is used to scrap data from Twitter. I would really encourage that exercise be done for ISPs. You could pick like 5 ISPs and pick the reviews of what customers say, and come up with something like this. So for each ISP. So in this, what I would advise is for each ISP becomes synonymous to the product. So we'll assume internet is internet. We won't drill further into the specific internet product, because I know ISPs have different internet products. They have maybe bundles, they have fiber, they have Wi-Fi, WiMAX, all those solutions. So we'll just think about it as internet. So I'm thinking if you are scrapping data, scrap it from the point of view of an ISP. So this would be 5, and come with as many reviews as possible, because we will need to do rating, because Twitter does not have rating. Maybe it could be retweets, but retweets, someone could retweet a negative thing. So if retweeting a negative thing, we don't want to confuse that as a positive. But we could still use it, because even negative comments is relevant. Negative comment is relevant. You might want to know what is this negative thing? Is it going to tell me to buy or not? So that is the whole idea. I think based on that, we've covered very, very basic presentation, but I think it sets a foot of what we would want to do, and its potential in the marketplace. Alvin? What we've covered so far, does it make sense, or what do you have to say?
Yeah, what we've covered so far is good. It makes sense. I'm actually curious to go and try out scrapping the data tonight from Twitter. Yeah.
Okay, I think it would be good, because if we're able to pull through and make sure that the project is completed, so many people would want to see, especially if it's for home internet. If we stick to the original plan, the proposal was to review home internet. This is information that will be important to everyone using internet from the house. Devi?
Yes.
How are you doing?
Me, I'm very fine. Yourself?
Yeah, I'm good. There is a notebook that was shared previously for getting tweets. Do you mind sharing so that guys can do that?
I'm doing it right now.
Oh, awesome. So Grace, you can access that as well.
Okay.
Yeah. So Grace, what's your David? Or you've shared?
Oh, no, please no, you have shared, yes.
Ah, perfect. So Grace, it's been shared in the WhatsApp group. I've seen it.
Okay, I've seen it.
Okay, perfect. So Grace, what do you say, considering this is your first meeting for this?
Okay, it sounds like an interesting project. Um, I really want to see how it turns out. Yeah, it seems like we'll be using social media a lot in both projects that I'm working on
Yeah,
to get data.
yeah,
Yeah, so I'm really excited to see how it goes.
yeah, me too. And I think the reason why, let me share with you guys some of the things I have in mind in terms of the future. The reason why I'm picking social media a lot is one, I remember Devi in our earlier meetings, Devi mentioned that it would be really nice, not only Devi, but a couple of other guys as well. It would be really nice to work with data that we have never seen or it has never been used before. If you look at Kaggle data, it has been used before, meaning the code that we use is likely copy paste. You get? So there
Yeah.
will be no learning in the process. So that is the first main reason why I feel using social media and in particular Twitter would enable us to think outside the box and try and solve problems as we technical problems as we deliver value to whatever project you're doing. That's one. And then the second thing, in terms of what I have in mind for us guys is to continuously learn through the projects that we start, but we learn technologies like even Spark. We now drive into big data. How do we stream data? Like right now, we are going to be tasked to scrap data from Twitter. But can we use Hadoop? Can we use Spark to actually stream that data and create visuals plugged into our models? So it's a long journey. So by the time we are done with this and having a visual the visual that we push to the public, and the public gets insightful information absolutely free. Yeah. So if someone asks you, what did you do? You send them to that visual and say, it's you. So I'm also excited to see where this would take us. I don't have all the answers. And I won't tell you that I know everything, no. But what I know is there is an opportunity to, 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 to solve some of these things, and it is upon us to solve them. So I'm also excited. David?
Yes.
I think you joined a bit late. So today's class was pretty brief. It started late, and we've just gone through what we did in the previous class. And I've walked through a Jupyter notebook
Yeah.
that I'm going to share.
Oh, thank you. And the assignment is we are just scraping data on Twitter.
Yes.
Okay.
So we scrap data on Twitter, but now the data we are looking at is discussions along ISP, Internet Service Providers.
Okay.
So what do people think about Internet Service Providers and their bought internet?
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So Alvin, you've seen the notebook, yes?
I've seen the notebook.
Okay. So we could all try and do that assignment. I'll focus on completing this notebook so that our next class we are just reviewing end to end the classifier, and then we can take it up. Like now, the project we do amongst ourselves is to coordinate either during the week or even after. We take it like now. This is our last mile. Yeah, this is our last mile. We make sure that the home internet reviews comes to life. We learn through Amazon, but our product would be home internet reviews. That would be our product. So on this product, the way we want to push it is a platform that would recommend, or rather, crowdsource information about home internet for people who are looking for home internet. That sounds good.
Yep.
Yes, too.
Okay. All right. So I think we'll leave it at that. I'm going to download this session was recorded just in case you want to walk through the notebook and follow through. And even for those guys who missed today's session, I'm so sure they'll be interested to follow through. So I'm going to have this recording uploaded, the Jupyter notebook uploaded as is right now, and also the NLP notebook to help us scrap. I'm also going to upload those so that you download and you get started. If we can get anything to do with, say, 20K tweets on ISP, that would be nice. So having no other discussion, I think I'll call it an evening, and then I'll try and finish the notebook and share with you guys.
Ayub.
Yes.
Thank you.
Just a quick question.
Yes, I'll be.
I was thinking about the scrapping part.
Okay.
What if someone scraps the data by, let's say, scrap data for, let's say, Safaricom Home Fiber, and then you scrap for Zuku and then for Access Kenya separately, and then you just combine them into a single set? Can it work?
Yeah, that's okay. All we need is just data.
Okay.
That's fine. So
Awesome.
there is no limit. The more data you get, the better.
Okay.
And we could also collaborate on WhatsApp. If you're stuck or if you have ideas, I'll be burning midnight oil. So let's reach out to each other and figure out the progress. Let's try and, because it's the last mile. So if we can move together, the better.
Okay.
All right.
Yes.
Okay, so I guess having no other business, then I think we call it an evening. And let's do this. I can assure you, if you complete it, then it will work for us, all of us. We will grow.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, cheers, guys. Have a good night and stay safe.
Have a
Cheers.
good night too.
Okay, bye.